4, 3, 2, 1.
Cue music.
This is Movies First with Alex First.
Elegant sets, settings and costumes, a big-name cast and twists aplenty characterise a new take on an Agatha Christie classic. 5 killings later, and the inimitable Hercule Poirot, Kenneth Branagh, solves the crimes, but not before all stand accused. We're introduced to Poirot's extraordinary mind through his remarkable instincts on the battlefield during World War I, during which his face is badly disfigured. Next, the action moves to London in 1937. By then, the man who set out to be a farmer has become the world's best detective, afforded a hero's welcome. He's a keen observer of life and watches intently as a talented blues singer generates plenty of heat on the dance floor. Specifically, his gaze is turned to Jacqueline de Belfort, Emma Mackay, getting hot and heavy with her newly minted fiancé, Simon Doyle, Armie Hammer. She's very much in love. Then all attention is turned to a very affluent friend of de Belfort's, Lynette Ridgway, Gal Gadot, who makes a movie star entrance to the club. De Belfort relays her good news to Ridgway and prevails upon her to offer Doyle a job, which she does. Then Doyle and Ridgway take to the dance floor. 6 weeks later, de Belfort has been dispensed with. Doyle and Ridgway are an inseparable couple, celebrating their marriage with friends and relatives in Egypt. But a dark shadow hangs over them, in the form of de Belfort, who appears to be stalking them, turning up unannounced wherever the couple venture. She's heartbroken and truly believes Doyle still loves her. Among their company is Hercule Poirot. In an attempt to get away from de Belfort, Doyle books a paddle steamer cruise on the Nile for his new wife and guests. For her part, Ridgway trusts none of them. And she has every right not to, for as the saying goes, the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. Soon thereafter, the vessel becomes a murder scene. One slaying leads to another, and so on. Poirot is the master interrogator who recognises all present have motives, with money being the root of all evil.
Movies First with Alex First.
I enjoyed the build-up and the hunt for the perpetrator or perpetrators. The backstory is compelling, and there's quite a long introduction before we get down and dirty on the boat, during which the piece tends to drift to melodrama. Death on the Nile circa 2022 is a lavish production, with much meritorious work on the design. It looks splendid. Michael Green has written a strong screenplay, which Branagh directs, although I would have liked to know more about each of these suspects' backgrounds. Incidentally, Green and Branagh also collaborated on Murder on the Orient Express in 2017. The latter is ideally suited to be the centrepiece of this film, commanding our attention throughout. I appreciated the love triangle and the interplay between the two ladies duelling for Doyle's heart. Not all the characterisations are as strong, and at one point crocodile tears are shed. Still, trying to pick the guilty party or parties remains elusive, just as it should. Also featuring Annette Bening, Russell Brand and Dawn French, Death on the Nile is, for the most part, slick and reasonably satisfying. It scores a 7 out of 10.
You've been listening to Movies First with Alex First.
Available at Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or your favourite podcast player. You can also stream on demand at Bytes.com.
This has been another quality podcast production from Bytes.com.